Great.
Okay, everybody. So I'm here. So we got how many people did you say online? 20. So somebody watching that as far as question goes?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So here we are again. Welcome to 2023. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Happy New Year.
How was everybody's 2022? Anybody got any recaps? Any good things, bad things? Got Duran here as well. A bunch of people here. Probably about what, 20 people here right now? How many people did you say was online? 30?
21.
Okay. 31? 21? All right. I'm sure we'll have more later on. Generally, I'm doing this by myself. The last couple of times we're doing it with the audience, so I can do it either way now. Doesn't really matter. Anybody want to tell me what they're thinking about for 2023? Everybody's no. Let's ask another question. Did anybody during the holidays? Did any of your people that you saw, your relatives, all the people that you saw, anybody ask you about real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Did everybody ask about real estate? And what's the public saying? I know what we're all saying here, but what's the public telling me? Your clients.
Majority is sky's falling.
So they're saying those your clients saying these guys are
Majority of them are saying it. There's a few.
like don't be poisoning your own what you're reading yourself. I'm just curious what the
Exactly.
public's saying. Yeah. So they're saying that the sky's falling, it's the end of the world, or what?
Say prices have come down and they're wondering if it's going to be more, if there's more price discovery, and they're waiting. A lot of people are like rubbing their hands saying, oh, when the price gets to this, I'm going to do this. And you're like, okay, maybe.
Okay, so Raj is saying that a lot of people are waiting to want to know whether or not the price is going to come down. Is
I
this
mean,
the end? And other people are rubbing their hands saying that the prices have already dropped.
Yeah, and like there's opportunity out there, and if you have the cash, you can take
Opportunity,
advantage
okay.
of it.
And is that opportunity ready to pull the trigger today, or are they're thinking about sometime in the future? Or?
And the guys that are ready to pull the trigger today, they still have an idea that their money's
Yeah.
worth something. And if they can't get a deal together with the seller because their expectations are too high, that's one thing. But yeah, if you have money, you get deals.
Is everybody what do you guys feel? Okay, figure out your clients. What do you guys think? What's 2023 going to bring? Dun, 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 dun. You can lie to me if you want.
I think we're gonna see some.
I think 2023 is going to be the best year ever.
People
All right.
move, people buy.
All right. So as I was telling Brandon here, is I don't know. I think the market's going to be. I don't know myself. I think last quarter was so-so, right? And I think that probably the first quarter of 2023 might be very similar to the last quarter of 2022, but it's not the end of the world. I think just everybody has to get settled in, and I think the key word we had, I think, in 2020, 2021 was called pivot. Remember that word pivot? Everybody was pivoting. And especially 2020 when we all had to work from home and we had to create all the stuff from Zoom meetings and things like that. We had to pivot into new things. Now everybody's calling it the Great Reset for 2023. The Great Reset meaning that the physical pandemic, the illness itself, the disease itself is behind us, but now we're starting to feel the real effect of the pandemic today. That's my opinion. And the government just dropped their interest rates in 2020. They went from 2020. I think they started. Brandon can correct me here, but I believe that they started at 2.25 or something in March of 2022, and they dropped it down to 0.25. I'm talking about the overnight rate. And when the market started coming around, then it actually went up 7 times, up to 4.25%, the prime rate. So so they went down really fast in 2020 to help the economy, and then they went up really fast to try to retract what they already did. But the whole economy's taken a change. There's problems with labor problems. There's supply chain problems. There's all types of things that are affecting things. I was just telling somebody today about even new cars. You may get a new car today. They haven't got the computer chips. You're not getting half the stuff you normally get in cars previous. So the cars you're getting today are not the same cars you would have bought 4 years ago. And I wonder how many other things have changed. It's changed quite a bit that way. But that's fine. It is what it is. And 2023 is here, and away we go. I made predictions last year. I predicted that 2022 would be the volume for condos would actually be up 10%, and the freehold volume would be down 10%. It didn't happen. I predicted that the condos would be up 12%, and freeholds would be up 10%. Did that happen or not happen?
At one point.
You got to be careful here, right? So what do you think? Did prices from 2022 to 2023, the prices go up or prices go down? Anybody else? For sure. For sure, for sure. So you got a nickel in your pocket. All right. Okay, so here we are. December reported, we had 3,117 sales for December 22. That was down 48.2%. Those are unit sales, right? And unit sales are down 48.7 from last December. Average prices, 1,051,000. They're actually down from December of last year, which was 1,150. So actually down about 8% or so. But if you look at the overall numbers for 2021, the average price for all of 2021 was 1,095,000. Right. So if you took all the prices for the whole year, divided by the number of sales, comes up to $1,095,333. If I take all the sales for 2022 from January to December and divide it by the number of sales, the average price is $1,189,850. Actually, prices went up 9%. You owe me a nickel. So when your clients tell you that the market's bad, the market's coming to an end, you tell them, wait a minute, the prices went up 8% in 2023. What are you talking about? Is that puts a different spin on things, does it not? I mean, if you get caught up in the same breath that they're thinking the market's dropped, the market's at the end, market this, and you say yes, it is. Well, okay, but then you have other numbers here that say different. So 1.18 or so 1.89. Those are pretty good for average price. That's actually up. Now, how'd that work? It's a bit of math, right? Because if you take the first quarter, for instance, well, all year, right? The average price in January was 1.242. The average price in February was 1.334, and that was the peak. That's average for all properties, all types. So Dumont here, he's comparing the 1.334 in February to the 1.051 in December, and now we have a $200,000 drop, 20% drop. But depends on how you spin it, right? So I like to spin it the other way around. The prices actually increased 22 versus 23. You're supposed to say, yeah. Who are the believers? Who are the believers, right? Active inventory. We've got 8,692. It's down 48% from last December. It's only 2.8 months of inventory. Last December, the month of inventory is 0.5. So we had 0.5 months of inventory last year. This year we got 2.8. So now we're getting into a normal market. What is a normal market for months of inventory? Do we recall? Some people might want you to believe that it's 6, but I'm using the number 4. Okay, so at a 2.8, it's still a seller's market theoretically, right? But if you take away the first quarter of last year, just screwed up everything. Take away that first quarter, and now prices starting to relax a little bit, or starting to get consistent, starting to be stable. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last 6 months since July, the average price has been around $1,073,000. And we've had a bunch of rate increases since then, but it still stayed around the $1,073,000. For instance, December was $1,051,000. So for the last 5 or 6 months, the prices actually have stabled, which is a good thing. So somebody's saying, when is the market going to stable? When's the market going to bottom out? Would I suggest? I would suggest it's now. I think it's already happened.
Resilience.
No, if you've had 5 months of prices staying, they're not going down, not going up. They're going down a little bit, but nothing major. So I think we're already at the bottom. I think it's already here. I think if somebody's thinking about buying, they might want to do it sooner than later. We're expecting one more. Well, we're expecting, I guess I'm guessing now, 8 more opportunities to increase the overnight rate for 2023. And the first one comes on June 25th. Sorry, January 25th is the first. And the question to you guys, or my guys, or Vern's here too, what do you think? You think they're going to increase it another 0.5 point?
I don't think I think we're small.
I got some yeses, I got some nos.
25 basis points.
Stuff I'm reading is it's anywhere from 0 to maybe 0.25 point. What do you think, Brian? You can hear any more?
Probably will not increase it, probably increase it much.
Okay. And So it's not a whole lot. So I think the government has done what they want to do, and I think it's the end of it. I don't think it's going to be any more. If they can do anything, it's going to be little quarter points. Maybe not in January, maybe the next one will be in March after that, maybe a quarter point. But I don't think it's going to really affect anything. I think we have to go to reset, and once the public understands that the property's value is $1,051,000, it's not 1.3, then I think we're all set. I think that's just great reset once people understand it. Home buyers' patience pays off as prices drop. Recession predictions zoom. So I'm just going through some headlines here from the different articles, different papers. And they're saying here that some people hoping to buy decide to wait, and they decide to buy in the fall. And now it's a good thing they didn't buy in the spring because they bought it at a lesser price. Again, I was talking to other people in Grand as well, but if you consider last year, 2022, January, February pretty much went crazy, right? And then the market sort of went down ever since then. So even January, February, March a little bit. So that really means that 25%, or like January, February, March, one quarter of the year, 25% of the buyers last year are the buyers that got caught up in the high prices. They're the ones that paid the 1.3s. The average price back in February for a detached 416 property was over $2 million. And now it's down to 1.5 or so. But anyways, we're only talking about maybe 25% of the population got affected by those high prices. Everybody follow that math? And half of those, let's say, were sellers. They're happy they sold at those prices. I'm not sure what the buyers would be happy, but that's it, right? I was reading, and it's true that every time that somebody has paid lots of money for properties, let's say like $2 million for a 460 tax, prices have always come back. 2008 they came back, 1989, 1990 the prices came back. Even though we've had a bit of a dip, they've always gone up over a year. And if you probably look at the overall stats, it's probably average, I don't know, 5 or 6% per year over the last 50 years. Product prices have always gone up. So even though you think that there might be the market's at the end, the market's horrible, it's really not, and it will rebound. Even as of yesterday, I think January it's going to be second. Just some other numbers. As of yesterday, we still have 8,600 sales. Months of inventory still about 2.8, and the sales are actually down 34% for the first 8 days in January. So it's consistent with what we've already seen, but that's all right. Days on the market overall, 15 days on the market, but if you look at all the days on the market, it's 22 days on the market. So it's still okay. 22 days on the market, 2.8, it's still not the end of the world. But it is there. Some things that are changing. I'll get into stats as I go. I'm just going to go through how I've got my papers here. Just to mix it up as well. Looks like the Barrie board, who belongs to a different board right now? I belong to the Peterborough board. Who else belongs to some people belong to the Barrie board, some people belong to the Kingston board. The people, who else? Anybody here belong to those boards? Just me? Bidar and that. Anyway, so it looks like Barrie board has decided that they're going to join the Toronto Real Estate Board, and they're probably going to get rid of their MLS system. So before we included Simcoe as part of the Toronto Real Estate Board data, and then they took that away, and BDR went with Matrix, and they did their own thing there. But now they've decided they're going to join Trev instead, and I wish that every other board would do the same. Problem in Barrie, what's going on is the local guys complained up in Wasaga Beach area that the guys from Toronto were listing properties in Wasaga Beach.
City slickers.
And then clients would go to the Wasaga Beach agent and say, I'm interested in this property, and that agent say, what property are you talking about? That's not for sale. And then they'd realize it's not on the Barrie board, it's on the Toronto board. So it made the local agents look a little foolish there, because they actually forced them to join the Toronto board, because we were putting stuff on Toronto board that was up there, and they didn't have access to it. So I guess we kind of pushed our way through that, right? So that's going to happen. It'd be nice to see if the other boards do the same thing. Maybe that's things to come, right? Treb, I don't know. I went into a rant. I promise I'm not going to do it this year, but I am. I started going into a rant already. Every time you make a change, good. Why do you make changes? Do you think you make changes to make something better? Instead, it goes the other way. Right? How many times that happens? Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it, but Trev decided that we don't need public searches anymore. We don't need MPAC. We have Geo Warehouse. So we go to Geo Warehouse, you can get the tax assessment, you see who owned the property, you see how many times the property was bought and sold. You can get the bedrooms, you can get I think the baths, things like that. Things you cannot get. And as you get the age of, you get the age of the place, and you get the bedrooms, age, and else. The thing you cannot get on Geo Warehouse is the square footage. And I used to do it all the time. I used to go to MPAC, I'd go to comparable search, and I'd find the approximate square footage of that house, and I'd find out real quick what's going on, right? Same as condos. Geo Warehouse does not do that. And some people have inquired, you've inquired, did you get reply? No. I phoned the help desk there at Treb and said, where's the square footage? Oh, you can buy it. No, we used to be able to get it free. No, you didn't. Trust me, we did. Right? We search it all the time, right? So I don't know if they're going to fix it. I don't think they're going to fix it. They'll probably just say, yeah, that's the way it is. So.
You can get another way to search comparable is from to go to the listing. You mentioned about the recent sales and the nearby. I think there would be the place to get the comparison. If a condo or you.
I'm more interested in the square footage though.
If you go to your warehouse, you comparable. It's expensive of in condo, but they only have a bedroom, that kind of thing. They don't have
So part of the issues we had, of course, is even condos, right? Guys would say it's a 500 square foot condo with a 100 square foot balcony. They call it 600 square foot. Right. So also in condos, you're looking at the square footage in particular because you're trying to figure out what the value is. And some guys are like different agents are not telling the truth, right? So Trev's got to have clamped down. They should make those fields mandatory that the listing agent pays the $5 and puts the actual MPAC square footage in that unit. That would make sense to me. Right. Rather than buying these and have to spend $5 for like you look at 10 different properties, right? Anyways, it's technology, it's advancement. Here we go. Not impressed, right? Oh, parking. You want to park it, Treb?
Oh,
They have a gate now.
Yeah.
You got to go in there.
Yeah, we've had that for a while.
You gotta give them
And you don't have to pay for it. It's crazy. You don't have to pay for it, but the thing goes up and in. You got to go into a kiosk and you got to say, hey, I'm here. And then I guess it's okay. If you don't say you're here, then what? I don't know, they ticket you or something there, but
they list your car for sale.
but they're not collecting any money. So what's the whole purpose of the whole thing?
Optic.
People park, there's a lot of industrial stuff around.
People parking there.
The bus down.
I don't know. I think it's an organization that's too much money in their pocket and they're trying to find ways to spend it.
Really not enough.
Right?
No.
But I'm not gonna be negative this
Yeah,
year.
you said that earlier.
Let's be positive. Okay. Your clients, and we're trying to give you opportunities. Okay, we want you to talk to your clients this year. 2023, you got to get back to the basics. You got to get back to all the things we talked about and all the things that you're supposed to be doing, but maybe you're not doing them. And when Marcus sold, this happened to us in 1990s. We've been through this before. I was talking to some people today. You got to go back to basics. Go right back where you came from. Do your clients know who you are? Are you sending stuff to your clients? Are you sending stuff by email? Are you phoning your clients? Are you sending a free CMA to your clients? If you're not sending a CMA, or you send them a letter saying, I can give you a free CMA, maybe get back to me and I'll do one for you. Are you, did you take advantage of the holidays as far as Christmas and New Year's goes? Did you send everybody a happy Christmas and a happy New Year's? Did everybody do that? Again, offer the CMAs. We talked about lead gen, maybe. There's companies out there, Boomtown and Agent Locator and Commission Inc. and there's a whole bunch of them out there that will sell you leads. And that's an option we want to think about as well. All the different disciplines that we've got need to be doing. So here's some here. We're talking about the vacant taxes. You want to be able to talk to your client. You just don't want, you want to give them information, right? So here's perfect information. You want to tell them, hey, by the way, you may have got a yellow piece of paper on there. It almost looks like a ticket you find on your windshield, right? Do not throw it in the garbage like everybody does. This is reverse billing. This is something that they're going to get in trouble for. I thought they would anyway. This is reverse billing. For instance, if your client does not answer this, so they say, oh, forget it, they throw it in the garbage. they're gonna have an extra 1% tax bill next year. And then they're gonna say, what's going on? Then they're gonna repeal it, which is gonna be trouble, and they're gonna have to pay, I think it's $250 if they have to appeal it. And it's a $10,000 fine if you lie. But here we go here. Talking to your clients, you should put in your newsletter, your email or something. Hey, if you get this in your mail, don't forget to fill it out. Remember, it's only 416, it's not 905. But there's a talking point when you talk to your clients. There's service you can give your clients that they might get. Little things like that, right? This is for vacant property. So if the property is vacant and it's retroactive. So the question when you go over there is during 2022, was the property vacant for more than 6 months? Yes or no? Just 416. Yeah, just 416. So there's a talking point for your clients, right? So you're always looking for that type of stuff. The other thing you have got to be thinking about, and it's time to do it, is do you have your buyer's guide? If you've got a buyer, do you have something you give them? Nobody's going to put up their hand. Right? No, you get a buyer off of agent locator. Okay, fine. So now you're gonna get involved in agent locator. You're gonna generate a lead for a buyer. You meet the buyer. What do? You give them your business card, or do you have a buyer's guide? Do you have first time buyer's guide? Do you have a something to just describe the process or describe the terminologies or something, right? We have all those things and they're there, right? Seller's guides for that matter. You've done a listing presentation. The guy said, thank you very much. We'll get the houses ready. I'll give you a call in 4 weeks when things are ready. Do you have something you leave behind with them or your business card? There's the seller's guides, right? I hate to say it here, but first time buyer seminars or buyer seminars. There's an opportunity for you again. We got to get back to the basics. There's 2023. Somebody said to me, 2023, you got to work hard, right? So, okay, here we are, buyer seminar. Who's ever done a buyer seminar in the past? I don't know if he's done it or not, but things have changed. When we used to do buyer seminars. You've done them in a banquet hall, right? And it's a big deal. And you brought people in, you had like 40, 50, 60 people in that, at that time, right? This is all pre-pandemic. So back in those days, pre-pandemic, what you do is you arrange a hall and you advertise, you get people to come to it and give away some free gifts and give some information, you give them a walk away something rather than away they go. So, but now pandemics change. We can do it all by Zoom. We can do it all by whatever else. And when you do it by Zoom or you do it by however you're going to do it, the client doesn't know whether he's the only person or whether he's 60 people. Right? And neither do you. So you can hide by a little bit there. You can do the show for that one or two people if you want. But it's a bit tough to fill a hall. Very tough to fill a hall. But you can be able to do that. So is there first time buyers? You may want to think about getting involved in that. Is that something you want to do? 2023 business plan. Have you done? Everybody done their business plan? Liars. Everybody knows what they want to do, but everybody knows how to do it, but do you do it, right? But you gotta have some plans there what you're up to, right? Here's to a more stable real estate market in 2023. Today's market, new homes, condo shoppers can go to sales office and select the homes they want rather than selling for whatever's left. This is pre-construction. So when you go to pre-construction now, it used to be you had to get in line, you had to be there, and there's a big frenzy going on. The thing would sell over 2 or 3 days. And you get the leftovers because they're already sold all the good stuff already, right? Things have changed. So if you've got a investor out there that maybe wants to buy some pre-construction, it's out there, and you've got more terms. You can actually select different products. You can actually look at it, right? So it's something to think about there. Talking about the rental rates are high. So if you want to rent it out, if your client wants to rent out, the rental market's very, very strong still, or is it strong? I don't know. How's the rental market right now? I think it's soft. I think it's very soft. I've got one and a couple other people have some. They're sitting there doing nothing. But all the stuff I read here, all these articles, they say the rental market's gone up, the rental market's busy. But I think as we speak today, it's just a little bit.
You think it's time of the year?
time of the year and everybody's tired, maybe. I think whoever bought's already bought. Average real estate listing prices dipped from March through July, but increased during the August. So yeah, this is written by Intuition, so they're obviously going to be positive in what they're talking about. They're positive, right? And then the next question here is how tough, the question after a tough 2022, how much further do real estate prices have to fall? I don't think they are going to fall. I think they've already fallen, right? Anyways, so I've got all kinds of stuff on stats. If you want things to go up, things go down. Housing predictions for 2023, what we don't expect. Even though sales have slowed down and too much demand, there's too much demand for the housing to crash. So the article here is saying here that even though 2023, you want to say that the market's slow, it's going to be dead, it's crashed. Ever heard the market crash bubbles? Ever heard those terms and that? And everybody wants to suggest that's happening, but they're saying here it's not going to happen. For a couple of reasons, and one of them being immigration. And the other being what I just talked about. We only got we only had like 3,000 sales last month. We still have 8,000 listings. It's still a seller's market. So it's a bit of a seller's market. In normal cases, if you had a 48% drop in sales, wouldn't you expect some massacre in prices? Like if the demand is down that much, you would see a huge price adjustment. But we have not seen that price adjustment. As I said, the last 5 months, the market has maintained at $1,050,000, $1,080,000, somewhere around there. It stayed that for last 4, 5, 6 months. And that's because of the supply is not there. It's still not a supply for the demand. But the demand wants to wait for the prices to drop. Yeah. Or for the interest rates to do something. So going back to the interest rates, once they've settled down, once the interest rates have not gone up or they settle down a little bit there, then you're going to have the more buyer confidence. And it'll be out there too. Interest rates, they're saying will hit their peak, and they're saying that house sales volume will increase. It has to increase. 2023 will be a better year for home buyers, mortgage holders, investors, and people sick of greedflation. Now, this article was written not by a real estate guy. This is written by a financial guy in the Financial Post. He's saying here, interest rates remain high, inflation won't let go, and there's talk of recession. I haven't heard recession word used for a while. But anyways, recession. Now that they got the negatives out of the way, let's look at the positives for your finances, investments for 2023. Yes, there are some. So the end of the interest rate. So he's saying here that the central bank had 8 opportunities to adjust its benchmark overnight rate in 2022 and raised it 7 times. A cumulative 4%, so actually increased 4%, which is massive. There'll be another 8 setting dates this year, 2023, but much less eventful. So he's saying here that yes, there's going to be some more looking at the rates, but they're going to be uneventful, and they're not going to be the big things that we had. Persistent inflation means we can see a moderate rate increase, but 2023 is a year where the central bank keeps rates mostly the same. So to answer those people that they've changed, the interest rates aren't going anywhere. They're going to stay the same for the rest of the year. They're saying here they expect the second half of 2023, expect to hear speculation on the timing of rate cuts by the Bank of Canada by the second half of 2023. So guys are asking you when the price is going to come down or interest rates come down, probably 2023, they're saying second half. The end of greedflation. Inflation caused supply chain disruptions, war in Ukraine. Businesses made worse by jamming the consumers with above and beyond prices, so-called greedflation. So saying here that a lot of people, remember lumber at the time went up way high. Remember lumber was like went crazy high, all the way down, and other stuff, everything's gone high. I was looking at the news last night and talked about China. And China, think what you want of China, but they're starting to open up again. They're starting to get the pandemic starting to open up. Once they start opening up, then the supply chains will start coming by, and then they start getting more supplies. You'll see the prices starting to come down, consumer prices. So that I guess that's recession, right? That's probably a good recession, right? So that's good news with China. It's not going to happen overnight, but once they start getting their machine going again, then you're going to see worldwide things are going to start to happen again. So that's encouraging. Retail sales are saying will start to go up. And soaring interest rates, bond markets, they're saying they'll stay the same. The stocks are going to rebound. Yeah, so this is a financial guy saying that 2023 looks okay to him. So that's good. Real estate in tough times, how to thrive despite economic challenges. This is in the real estate magazine. Gone are the days of multiple offers and over asking on the days old listings. Seasoned agents know winters are typically flat for a bunch of reasons. It's true. Buyers and sellers wait in the sidelines, bated breath to see what 2023 has to stores. Comes in store. Sorry, and this is what they're saying. What you guys just said. Everybody's sort of hanging by. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for what, right?
It's moving sideways, right?
Mhm.
Any little bit of good.
Yeah, unfortunately for you guys, there's no guaranteed income. Realtors don't have a guaranteed income, therefore you have two choices, right? Either, I guess one choice. You gotta get back to work, right? Not back to work, you gotta work, you gotta talk to people. There is another choice to get another job, but yeah. But as realtors, you gotta do all the things that you tell. You know what you're supposed to do, but a lot of times we haven't done it, but you need to do it, right? Again, where will interest rates go in 2023? Experts say not much higher, but they will stay high for a while, for all that time. Bunch of changes in 2023, which you'll see not right away, but most of these things happen in April. You remember April? I do. April 1990, the market took a big crash. I think in 1970s, and another crash in April. In 2017, April, the provincial government came in with the stress test, right? And came with a bunch of other stuff in April. So April's always been sort of a shedding, or what is it called, watershed time. And now the governments have come in with all these different updates to their Real Estate Business Brokers Act and such, and these things all come into effect in April. So you can see a lot of changes in April again. We got the Trust in Real Estates Act that will be coming in. And what that means, what it's done for you, what they've done already, they've got your personal real estate corps. Everybody's created personal real estate corp. That's old news now. Everybody's done it, wants to do it. Everybody that wants to do it has already done it. People are thinking about doing it. Should maybe think a little bit more. I don't know. Personal real estate corps. If you have any questions, talk to me about that. Real estate corps is for specific people that are making more money than they're spending. That's the bottom line, right? So if you're making more money than you're spending, then PREC maybe makes sense. If you're spending all the money that you're making, then PREC makes no sense. Unless you just want to pay the lawyers or accountants and things, right? Special certificate. So coming April, they're going to have the regulations. And just so you know, like the act came in, the Ontario government, Ford and the guys came in. Let's create this Trust in Real Estate Act. So they came in with the overall picture of what the law will look like. Now they've given it to the regulators, so the regulators have to write the regulations to conform to the act itself, and then it goes to RICO, who will then administer the regulations. So all the regulations have to be finished by April 1st of this year, and then RICO's going to come in with their recommendations and things they're doing. So you're going to have a specialist certificates. Doesn't mean that if you're not a specialist, it doesn't mean you cannot trade in that practice. But if you want to become, let's say, a cottage specialist, so RICO is going to come up with I guess with Humber, they're going to come up with some courses on recreational properties, all the things to do with water and septic and all the things to do there. And you got to do this course. When you finish the course, then you can call yourself a cottage specialist. But because you're not a cottage specialist doesn't mean you can't sell cottages. Just you can't call yourself a cottage specialist. Does that make sense? So that'll be coming up soon. So if you want to get, you want to get involved in that and have another letter or something after your name, that's fine. Increase powers of RICO and discipline matters. So RICO is going to be able to, instead of RICO wants to suspend your license. They have to go through the whole process. They got to go, you're considered innocent until proven guilty. So you got to go through the whole process. And if they want to take a license with it, gotta go through tribunals and there's a lot of legal stuff. Now they're gonna allow RICO to give fines immediately or do things immediately if it's pretty obvious that what somebody did can't be defended. Does that make any sense? So somebody does something bad, then RICO has the powers to be able to fine them or suspend them or do something without having to go through all the hoops that they normally have to go through. That's gonna happen. Multiple representation after April 1st, they're not gonna allow that. But they will allow you to, it's all paperwork. It's nothing but paperwork. There won't be after April, there won't be a customer, sorry, it won't be a customer agreement. Right now you've got what, customer agreements to sell, customer agreements to buy. They're going to be self-represented. That's going to be the term that's going to be used. And there won't be any multiple representation because well, I guess there still will be if you've got a BRA, but if a client wants to be a customer, no such thing, he's going to be unrepresented. So rather than sign a piece of paper that says customer, it's going to be unrepresented. So it's no big deal. It's a piece of paper.
What's that for commission then?
Commission has nothing to do with commission. Yeah, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Just not present. Just that it's pretty obvious, right? If you go, you guys can't tell me if a client said to you, what's the difference between a customer agreement and a client agreement? You couldn't tell me the difference anyways, right?
Representing the best interest. to the-
No, as a customer, you gotta do the best interest. in
Either
it,
way,
right?
I'm on your side.
But now it says you're unrepresented, and that tells them straight up
Yeah.
what's going on.
Can you just tell me what the-
Well, that'll be coming down the tubes. Get ready for that. Oh, and more transparency. This is the big one, right? Yeah, more transparency with the offers. They're going to come up with the regulations that says that your client can determine if he wants everybody to know what the other offers are or not. Right now, we're not allowed to disclose contents of competing offers, but the new law is going to come in saying as long as it's okay with the seller and I assume the buyer too, then we'll be able to tell everybody what the contents of the other offers are. Yeah, price,
Price too?
yeah,
Will
price.
they have to decide before the presentations or can they do it during?
I changed my mind.
like,
Show
you
them.
know,
No, I changed my mind. Don't show them.
We'll find that out in the regulations.
Yeah.
One of the buyers is not willing to.
That's right. That's right. So the regulations will cover, this is, let's say the act says there's one, you want transparency with the offers, but the regulations will give more details on things like that. Because I don't think it's just the seller. I mean, the seller says, I want everybody to know what the other offers are, but maybe your buyer doesn't want everybody to know what the offer is. So there's got to be two-way street though. Okay, and then we've also got, it doesn't really affect too many people here. You've got the non-residence tax. Anybody? I've had a discussion with one person there last week about a non-resident. You gotta be careful with that. Talk to Nelson or myself on get more details on that. Is anybody involved with any non-residents here? There's two parts. Ontario government came in with one saying non-residents, you gotta pay 25% extra tax. But then the federal government came in and said, no, there's no buyers for 2 years. If you read the newspapers, they'll say there's some exceptions. They'll say like some students are some exceptions and some other exceptions. I guess like work orders or paperwork permits. There's exemptions, I guess they call it. But you gotta look at it again because yes, a student can be exempted, but they have to have worked for 5 years since they've been here and they had to file taxes for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And a permanent resident has to have filed or not permanent resident, a work permit had to file 3 of the last 5 years income taxes. Already have to be here. That's right. So they can't just bring them in now and buy it. They've already had to been here for 5 years previous. So read it and can't be more and yeah, what's else? Oh, and less than $500,000. If it's less than $500,000, then they're exempt as well.
Not that how to find out the real answer, good answer, the reliable information. Where to find that information?
Gonna be government Canada.
You can go to the federal government. Go to the federal government, it's all there.
Website or somebody that.
No, go to the website. You can look at, you can Google it. And you'll see where lawyers are giving their opinion. You can also see the actual news release from the federal government. Okay, top 10 issues that'll affect real estate in 2023. Inflation and interest rates,
That was last year.
geopolitical risk,
Flat risks.
What was the second one?
geopolitical risk.
Look at this.
Well, I know this affects real estate because right now, with like the war going on, right, with Russia and stuff like that. Hybrid work, so a lot of people working from home or not working from home, that'll affect real estate. Supply chain disruption, energy, labor shortage, great housing imbalance, people that own people don't own. Nothing new. You hear about that couple that lost their house? Somebody stole their house when they're on vacation.
Crazy.
And then the media is going after the realtors saying that, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? So, okay, so when we do our FinTrack, right? We're not just doing FinTrack, we're doing to identify our clients, right? So to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. So the realtor would have identified them as well. But what can a realtor do if somebody fakes a driver's license and somebody actually puts their photo on it? And like, what more can you do, right? And all your clients can do is to make sure that there's a first mortgage on that property or make sure that they've got title insurance. So this is another talking point for your clients, okay? And you're trying, what am I going to tell my clients? You're supposed to contact them 33 times a year, right? What can I say? Well, talk about vacancy tax. Now you can also talk about, hey, don't have a mortgage, congratulations, but you might want to protect your thing and maybe get some title insurance.
So what about the lawyer? Lawyer just they don't do their job.
Could be. I mean, nowadays you can't. A lawyer won't close a deal without title insurance, but that's if they bought 20 years ago, then there was no title insurance, right?
Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of that happening?
Title there were sorry, not title insurance. 20 years ago there wasn't any title insurance. Could be 25 years, could be 50. I'm just throwing a number out there. It was never around forever. So you want to talk to your clients, maybe your parents, maybe someone you know doesn't have a mortgage, they want to just cover that up, right? BC, they did something weird. BC, they've got for resale properties, they've got a 3-day cooling off period.
Yeah,
And what they're complaining about now is a 3-day cooling off period for the client to do their due diligence. So we in Ontario, we put conditional upon financing or inspection, where we usually 5 days or so, right? And they're saying like 3 days is not enough for the buyer to really get a firm answer. Like 3 days is nothing. It was also brought up when the market was hot, right? The market was really hot there in BC for a while, and that's when they came up with this idea. But the thing that's really interesting on this one is a 3-day cooling off period. But if the buyer decides that they're not going to move forward, they've got to pay the seller a penalty of 0.25% of the purchase price. 0.25% of the purchase price. So 0.25% of the of $100,000.
per 100,000.
$250 per 100. So $1 million profit would be 250 times 10, right? 2,200. So then I was thinking that's not a bad idea. Let's say you got, it's too late now, but can't think, but let's say you have multiple offers, right? And you want to take a conditional multiple offer because it's really high, but it's still conditional. Then throw in something there that if they don't firm up this deal, then you got to pay my seller 10 grand. No reason why you couldn't. I don't think anybody will do that, but anyway, something to think about. You know what I'm talking about? So the guy's, there's $50,000 more than this guy, but it's this guy's firm, this guy's conditional. So if I throw something in there, okay, fine, I'm gonna take your price here, but if you don't firm up, you gotta pay my client 5 grand.
Hold price, the hold price, right?
Just think on the side the box, right? It's always possible. You can write anything you want.
Prove that
Honestly,
big.
I did not know that. There was a, two opportunities.
So I'm saying you can do it, but it takes two to tango. So now you gotta have an agent on the other side that's educated enough to understand what's going on.
Always thinking, man. You're always thinking.
Just think outside. Eh?
The
Good.
that is that. The one stage to me that it's not easy even to go. The deposit that you pay to the other agent company that has, that the board has it in their hands. If you want to not close, even for me, it's very difficult to go up the deposit, but for a big process, long process, or to get some money from.
That's when there's a breach.
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
right, yeah.
we're not talking about breach. Just for those at home, just saying there, if a property doesn't sell, then you gotta fight for the deposit, you gotta sue everybody, you gotta do other things in that, but that's when you breach a contract. I'm not, this is not a breach contract, this is just not fulfilling a condition. And then take the money from the deposit. I mean, yeah, you put a clause in there that, in the event that the buyer agrees, if the buyer doesn't firm up this deal, then the buyer directs the listing broker to distribute the deposit as this.
This is what I requested. Part of the deposit should be able to
Yeah.
list.
But again, it's not if the deal didn't close, it's if they didn't waive their condition. Anyways, it's something to think about. I just threw that out there. Just to confuse you. Another thing, think about, anybody wants to get involved in pre-construction. We've got pre-construction, we see what's going on, we get emails from people that we know and we have partners and whatnot, but you need to do some due diligence yourself. So I just read an article here on the weekend. It's a site called, well, this one's called Stories, but there's Urbania, there's a bunch of different sites, and they talk about projects that are coming down the tubes. So here's a project here. It's good for my folks. So my Bangladesh folks there that live around the Danforth and whatnot. There's a Canadian Tire, the Canadian Tire at thing. That's being torn down to put high rises put in there. So that to me to be a project I would want to keep my eye on, and I'd want to be there in the VIP, or I'd want to be able to do it because it's on the Danforth, which is it's on the subway line already.
Those two main
Right.
streets.
And it's right Main Street, and it's the whole area is ready for redevelopment. If you look at all those strip malls, all those little two-story things up and down, that whole place ready for redoing. And lots of rental units at Main Street. So I would keep my eye on Urbania, I'd keep my eye on this type of stuff, and I would certainly want to have some ideas what's going on there, right? Be there at the ground.
They're saying the Danforth people but they don't want the highlight.
Well, yeah, but this is the new government came in. New government's saying to those guys, too bad.
Oh, so it will come.
Yeah, before government said we too bad, like none of my backyard, too bad.
Regarding the reconstruction. Okay. Actually, two builders offered, they would pay 6%. Before we used to sell two free condos, 4 days, then they would be 6% on the total 4 months. Right now, they would give you 6% on the first month.
So Shafiq's saying that they're paying 6%. They're paying, there's more incentives now from builders.
Yeah, well, even to the client and also to the agent.
Yeah.
So my second question is what everybody thinks about the reconstruction not being built, that wanna get the money back to the clients without any problem, without that issue, just. Because they haven't started the construction, promised after 3 years, after 4 years.
Yeah, so Shafiq's question is the people that have bought pre-construction, the builder decides not to move forward. Is that your question? And what's your question?
No, my question is the number of these kind of things in place, like builders are not building?
Yeah, wasn't there what, 30,000 units that decided not to build last year? There's 30,000 units that they decide not to launch.
Or is one of them?
Yeah. Anyway, so the federal government's coming, or provincial government's come in with another act for builders, saying that if you're going to cancel those deals, you got to pay interest on the deposits. I think the interest was no, it was CPI, CPI, whatever else, but the government doesn't like, they calls them bad actors. The builders are bad actors if they don't move forward. So if the provincial government is making the builders certainly pay back monies. some people are thanking their stars that they're giving the money back to. I don't have a list, no.
So it looks like people are also happy to get their money back because the increase.
That's what I'm saying. That's some people are glad, so. Grant and I were talking about this, back in December, the government decided they're gonna maintain the 2% stress test, so we're kind of hoping that they may be changing the 2% stress test to something different. They decided not to. So what's a 5-year fixed rate mortgage right now?
Let me check it
So is the stress test only on the 5-year fix?
Like a 5.25. On a conventional,
So
4.7989 on an insured mortgage.
So 5.25 on a fixed and 4 point something on a,
4.79
on a variable? So you got, so the government says what, 5.25 plus 2%, or 2% of the rate you have, whichever is higher. So it's 5.25 is the same number. So 7.25 you have to qualify for. Which I think has saved us, because that came back in again in April of 2017, I think it was. A lot of people that stress has not been there, then when the interest rates went up like four points, that put them in a worse position than they are now. I know people right now, they're paying what, $1,000, $1,500 more right now than they were even 6 months ago. So that protect them, but according to stress test, they can qualify. They can still qualify in those areas. Not yet, but soon, 2023 forms. So if you're using any forms, you got pre-typed forms in your system. You don't use our staff to type your offers. Make sure you got the 2023 forms, which are out there right now, but they're not in a format that we like. I like to have it so that it's in a editable form. So once it gets an editable form, then we'll be changing our forms as well. Once we have that, then you should be changing your forms too if you're typing your own offers. Right? Not every form changed, but a lot of them did.
Yeah, another question regarding the listing. You mentioned that many people think that increased. In also to him, don't you think that we will have more listings in the first maybe 3 months to 6 months of 2023 because of this sudden increase of the mortgage payments? So people will just their forms and get rid of their properties. You can get open variable mortgages.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
Shafi is suggesting that because of the interest rates going higher, that a lot of people are putting the properties back on the market because they can't afford it, or is this too much, right? People, I don't know. Shafiq, you're saying that a lot of people will put the properties on the market because they can't afford mortgages? Do you think they just go back to renting? You think they just go back to rent?
As I spoke to, they say that the rent is not going to cover the mortgage and the expenses of the home.
No. What I mean is, are they going to sell their? These are investment properties they're selling, or these are personal properties? Investment property. Okay, no, we said that. I said that a long time ago. Yeah, you need to contact your investor clients because right now they're in negative cash flow position. You got to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter who's telling the truth. Like, it doesn't matter who's right. When you go to a client and say, look, you're renting this place out as an investor for 2 reasons, as far as I know, to make money on the rent or to make money on the appreciation.
Yeah.
Any other reason why you buy investment property? Anybody else? No.
Uncle told me to.
Why would you buy investment property? Those 2 reasons. Anything else? So now neither one of those are happening, right? So the prices are appreciating and you have negative cash flow. What are you doing with that place? Get rid of it now. So another conversation for your clients, right? Don't wait for them to come to you. You need to talk to them. It's time to change it. So there's all types of things to happen. Okay, and then finally we've got a lot planned this year for training and coaching and stuff like that. We've got we haven't got it nailed down. We've got some of it nailed down, but not all of it. We want to do a kickoff event eventually, but we haven't decided how we're gonna do that just yet. But we'll talk about later. That usually goes later on in the spring anyways. But right now, we want you guys to get back up running because things are slower and the market has changed. It's down 40%, whatever it is. So now you've got to work harder, don't you? Or smarter or more efficient or
Both.
something,
All
or
three.
get something going, right? We spent during 2020 and 2021, probably 2022, we spent all kinds of time doing the Wednesday meetings, Wednesday trading meetings, doing the Monday meetings as well, but all types of systems that we've created that are available to you, and we presented to you. And now it's time, I think, to get your own systems going, or at least get your business plan, lack of a better word, your business set up so you're doing all the things you have to do. And we're here to help you as well, and we want you to get involved. So every Wednesday now, starting this Wednesday, this Wednesday, we're going to start a bit of a training program just to get back to the basics and get back to things that you want to do. And we sent it out to you in that PF flyer that we sent out last Friday. Anybody look at that PF flyer? Did you see that format? A little different format. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
PowerPoint.
No, it was a book. The pages flip.
Yeah, that's the PowerPoint.
I guess so. You call it, I don't know. I would call it PowerPoint. It's the page flip, whatever it is. It's kind of fun, right? Look at, so something you want to do to your clients, that's the easy thing to do. If you look at the bottom of the thing, you'll see where it came from. So it's not that hard, but anyways, good job on that, Kaylin. But in there, we've got a bunch of stuff, but on top of that, we've got the first session we're going to do on Wednesday, which would be the 11th of January. We're going to have email campaigns now. Bunch of times I was told, or people telling me, or maybe you're telling yourself, the emails were old-fashioned emails, didn't work. Emails were not the thing. You had to do social media, and you had to do all different types of things out there, and dance and do all the stuff somewhere else, right? But now we're starting to read things are going back again, where actually email is stronger now than it has been in the past. So, and it's easy for you to do, and it's easy. It's got there's no rejection. Just push a button and away it goes, right? There's no rejection to it at all. So we're going to reintroduce the email campaigns. That'll be the first session.
And it's not just the MoxieWorks stuff, it's I have a bunch of ideas to share.
Yeah. So we're trying to set you up on MoxieWorks. MoxieWorks is email, basically. Sending out email, sending out e-greetings, birthdays if you have them in there. You've got your newsletters, you've got your life at home. By the way, going back to the MoxieWorks, anybody who's using the MoxieWorks, who's using the life at home newsletters, who's sending those out? That's all? Just one, two. See, as we mentioned to you guys, there's no competition.
Yeah.
Any reason why we're not sending out the life at home? Just curious.
Feel like we do every month to stand out and have different topic, explain time and how we will read every. Also had a recipe. Every month have a recipe, so people can do like cake.
I'm just curious though. Yeah.
Very resourceful.
So I'm just curious, like who is not? Only two people, seriously, two people have using life at home this.
So sad.
Eh? Really?
Is anyone using a different platform? Okay.
The
Doesn't
CR
matter which platform.
the CR Works one.
Yeah, CR Works.
Who's using CR Works? CR Works newsletter. Who's sending that out? So I'm not going to bother asking the second question. Who sent a CMA out to their past client database? All the guys that put up their hands. Who's driving the Porsches? Who's driving Teslas? Oh, look at that. Same group.
I think like the set of life at home Excel work is different. The CR work basically when we had the market statistic come up, the CR work we send out to state the nation is different. Life at home is like more you can touch the kind of your face. CR work also like see your face, but it's more all related with the market. So it's different function, like, I subscribe both of them. So it's good to have both to see the setup, and you get the information, you yourself also can read it and communicate with your clients, so you know what you're talking about and they know.
So I'm sure more people here, I know the audience here, more people do this, not picked up their hands.
I don't know. I hope you guys show Wednesday because I'm going to be showing you guys 6 different email campaigns to use, not just the ones that you guys get, but I'm going to teach you guys how to grow an email list, like different landing pages to do, subject lines, how to get your open rate up, and all that stuff. So
Even a simple thing, even a simple thing like the WISE stamp. Everybody know what the WISE,
Yeah, like
WISE,
email
is it
signature.
W-I-S-E? WISE?
why?
WISE? Everybody know what a WISE stamp is? So your signature line on the bottom of your emails,
If you ever got an email from me, you'll see.
and it's got all your social media links and everything else. So it's just a simple thing like that.
You pay for that, no?
I'm going to be teaching you guys all 3
Free.
things
Oh,
next
that's
this
good.
week.
That's good.
Okay, so what we're doing this year on the training stuff, and I don't know if it matters or not, but we're basically, the girls are gonna teach you everything that they do. There's nothing, like, no secrets. Like, here's from day 1, day 2. This is what they do.
Yeah.
And this first star is the email. So
Yeah, at the end of it, I'll give you guys, I
Yeah.
even made a separate booklet. It's not email campaigns, like copy and pasted emails that we send to our clients, like follow up from a listing presentation, follow up from an appointment, how to ask for testimonial. I was gonna go like, I was researching other people, like, why am I researching other coaches? Like, I'm just gonna show you what we've used. And it just caught, and it has, you can tell it's my language. It's like happy faces and exclamation marks. It's very
for those at home, it's okay to say, and that just basically what they're doing, they're gonna just show you guys, and you guys can just copy what they want. This can't be used or not, right? So simple thing. I know an agent last year, just off topic, I know an agent last year who doubled their sales from the year before. Their 2023 sales were double what 2022 was. How was that? Anybody know how that is?
Talk to the people.
Huh? It's too late now, but during 2020, during the pandemic, when everybody was at home, this individual got extra phone lines in their house and they phoned every single one of their clients, every single one. And all of a sudden 2023 came along when things sharpened up. They wanted to sell, who'd they call? Right? So we're in the same situation now. The market's slower. Let's do this email. Let's contact our clients. Let's do all the things that we need to do. That's, if you want to have a great 2023 when the market's tough, that you get back to basics. That's all we're doing. And it works every time. All right. Brand, I've asked him, Brand's in the mortgage business. He's in the same business we are. What are you guys doing for 2023 to be different than 2022?
Going back to basics.
Back to basics.
Like what I did 10 years, like I
Like,
go back.
and when was the last time Brand was in a live meeting? Yeah, I haven't seen him all
We
year.
have a live meeting.
I haven't seen him all year.
Oh,
But it's getting back to basics, right? So this is the thing that we all gotta think about as well. Yeah, okay. I've got some stuff here too, but that's enough for today. So just to recap, all the things, all the tools that are available to you. You've got your CR Works we talked about. You've got your marketing program, got your Spotlight program, right? The new central and web page. We've got the Moxie Works. You've got the back end for your Moxie Works. That's your newsletters and things like that. You've got your resource center, 2 resource centers. You got the C21 one, and you also have the C21 Fulton agent training sessions on YouTube. The Google Drive, all the stuff that you want, all the listing presentations I talked about. I talked about buyer's presentation. I talked about a seller's presentation. All these things are on your Google Drive. They're all there already. Got your own office webpage, campus TV, do not call lists. So all the tools that you could possibly think about, they're all there. It's just a matter of having to use them. Yeah. Done. Anybody have any listings they want to talk about?
Anyone need any rentals? I have a couple of them besides the commercial. That
Naz has the rental. Still got a rental on,
commercial on Danforth, talk to me about. Our main floor
good.
business can have.
Anything else? No, 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 no. Going. No, almost gone.
There's a listing coming up, 186 Bellamy Road North on the main road. West side, between Eglinton and Lawrence. The guy bought it in a very hot market. Poor guy, someone who received by the agency help. Wasn't supposed to buy at the time. And on top of that, he also spent a lot of money thinking that he's gonna stay there. So.
Did you say some Brimley?
Bellamy.
186 Bellamy.
So Shafiq's got a house on Bellamy, 186 Bellamy. The guy, is he, do you have the listing with you? With you?
Yes,
Is it a bungalow? What is it?
yeah, it's a bungalow, it's a, not actually two floors, two floors with a basement. And the basement was not finished, he finished the house, upgrades, actually does. But as I say, he was thinking to stay there. Because some of the things stuck with the house. And he paid, I believe, 1.3, close to 1.3.
So for those at home, Shafiq only, so the guy paid $1.3 million for what, back last spring?
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
And now he wants to sell it for how much?
Well, we will see the market. How the market is.
What would you guess?
How the listed properties, how the situation under the million.
Yeah.
See what happens if not.
See, that's still going on too, right? You can still generate multiple offers with a strategic pricing. Right?
But if anybody has, buyer.
Is he prepared to sell it for 1.1?
The right question. That's a great question.
One is.
Let me get back to you.
Well, 1.3 was the average price in February, and today's 1,000,001. So is he prepared to take 1.1?
Yes, I knew that you want to discuss.
But definitely not on more than one.
Okay, let me go back to another thing. So we have a lot of clients here that want you to stage the property, right? And they want you to spend all the money in staging, right? And some agents, believe it or not, say free staging. You've already seen flyers that says free staging. Understand it's not free staging. It's free staging if the property sells. They want the client to pay for the staging first. And if the property doesn't sell, the clients pay for it. If the agent pays for it and the property doesn't sell, the agent pays for it.
Okay.
So be very careful on a situation like that. You know, where the guy's already up to here and then he doesn't, he wants you to stage it, but he doesn't want you to pay for it. He doesn't want to pay for it.
Yeah, I understand, but luckily I don't have a problem with my clients, they got issues.
Okay, no, but some people do. Some people, so-and-so said they'll do it for free, right? Okay, well, I will too. Well. Anything else, Nelson? Go on. Appointments, I'm gonna talk about appointments.
Yeah, this weekend was a lot stronger offers typed up wise.
Okay.
In the last 4 weekends.
Okay, so we're starting to see a little bit of movement now then, right? Okay, cool. I think 2023 is gonna be fine, in my opinion here. I'll write down later on where I think it's gonna be up or down, but I think it's gonna be fine. But just so you know, I believe that 10% of the salesperson population did not renew. So you had like 65,000. I bet you over 6,000 people did not renew. Back in 1990, 25% of the agents did not renew. So we're not finished yet.
So did you get the data that how many people did how much business, like how many deals a year, like that?
How many years we did for the whole year? We did 75,000.
Yeah,
75,000
for
units.
I mean, like for the travel.
For Trev was 75,000 units for the whole year. Last year was 115 units, 115,000. So it's down about 38%, 37%.
So I'm asking about the agents, that how many agents did not do the business at all?
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I guess that too. I mean, I get the actual number there, but there's 65,000 agents, and I would bet that 20,000 did 0 deals,
I read an email, 26,000 is zero.
26,000 0 deals. Well, yeah, but a lot of guys are, okay, we had some of our folks retire. Everybody wants to reach out to Linda Sebastian, She decided- done. Virginia Chan, done, retired, yeah, retired, so. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So she's gonna, give her plans to us.
Don't forget, no, Linda's a sales manager for 25, 30 years. She didn't have a, she never had a database.
Linda was in office.
All the agents were some.
He was all the time in office, not working as agent.
Yeah. Good. And I tell you what happens to all these guys, I've seen it before. I've seen lots and lots of people retire. And then as soon as they retire, about what, 4 weeks, 6 weeks later, 2 weeks later,
They come back?
they come back because their uncle, their brother, their friend wants to buy a $2-3 million property and they want to put it back on the market. And
Let's go.
I've done that. I've done, as soon as they come in here, I want to retire. And okay, yeah. And I say to them, you're going to come back, and then sure enough, they come back. So.
How many this did we have in the first week of January office?
New listings in last week, I don't know. The new listings for last month were,
No, I mean, okay, I understand the current situation. Do we have our office like this week? When
I don't-
it's a second week?
I don't track that.
What of the year, what week of the year? You think that the listing starts? Is it the month of February, March, January?
Okay, so I don't know, maybe okay, so Fig's asking, when does the market get busy again?
Yeah, for this purposes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I think it takes, it's about the second or third week in January before people start getting going.
When the Christmas lights come off the houses.
Yeah, the Christmas lights, as soon as you take the Christmas lights down, then. Okay, folks, I'm done.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you very much.
Claire.
We'll see you next time.
Nice meeting you.
Bro, uncle.
Hey.